Hi everybody, it's me again, Israel, saying hi to you guys from Netanya, here in the Holy Land. What I want to do with this video is give a little introduction of who I am. I have a little bit of a story. I'm 25 years old. I am newly married and I am a convert to Judaism. I'm going to try to make this short as possible. I don't have a lot of time, but I really want to get this video out there. I converted to Orthodox Judaism fairly recently, as of last January, almost a year ago. And then I also, starting at a young age, I finished a Reform conversion when I was 19 years old. Let me first start by saying that I grew up in a home that was Anglo-Catholic, Episcopalian. My mom was Roman Catholic, grew up real strict Italian Roman Catholic, but she met my father, who wasn't Italian or Catholic, but he was married and, well, divorced, and had a child from a previous marriage. So when my mom and my dad went to the Catholic Church to marry them, they refused, and unless they did some sort of an annulment or paid some kind of ridiculous amount of money. So my mom was like, to hell with that, I'm going to go to the next best thing that she had heard from a friend, Anglo-Catholicism, Episcopalian, but this kind of Episcopalian is more strict. It's very, very similar to Catholicism in as much as, like, if you walk into the church, the ceremonies, the vestments, what the clothes the priests wear and all that are all the same. Virtually the order of the service and everything is the same. Holidays, all that. So that's how I grew up. But then when I was younger, about maybe 4th, 5th grade, I started going to my neighbor across the street. Went to a youth group and belonged to an evangelical Christian church. So I started going to this youth group. And I started becoming a very religious, Bible-believing Christian, non-denominational, the kind of person that believed that everybody should end up converting to Christianity. Reading the Bible every day. I would, I'd have a highlighter and a pen, and I'd underline things, and I'd memorize Bible verses. I even went to my neighbor's Bible camp, a place that I believe was called Camp Sankanak, where one summer when I was there, I was voted the most Christ-like, as far as the camper that showed the most, I guess, what they would say, the camper that has the most qualities that are most similar to the J-Man, so to speak. Which is kind of interesting. So, I'll start by saying that I was a very religious Christian. I read the Bible and I studied religion. I ended up becoming a young teenager, and I knew a lot. I ended up learning a lot, and I was pretty good at being a missionary as far as that kind of thing is concerned. I would try to witness to people all the time. I try to witness by witness I mean I'd try to preach and get them to convert, to even my school teachers, my school friends, and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, the more I studied, the more I had questions. I never really grew up around Jews too much. Every kind of interaction I ever had, I had questions and wanted to know more about it. For example, I had a girl that went to my school. I grew up with 2 different girls, I believe, that were Jewish. One I was sort of my girlfriend at one point, or the other, or what you would call a girlfriend, I don't know. If I would really even consider something at that age boyfriend, girlfriend anyway. So these kind of interactions with Jews, the little ones that I had, always had some sort of interest. I always wanted to, dig deep into it. And then when I became a religious Christian and studying the Bible every day and, going to summer camp and all that kind of stuff, wanted to be more like the J-Man, I started studying the Bible, and I had questions, because I'm reading this book, the Christian Bible, and I'm hearing about a woman that would touch the tzitzit of Jesus, the J-Man. I'm going to try to refrain from saying his name. I don't particularly like using it anymore, and it helps me avoid using that name. Helps people not get the wrong idea about who I am and what I believe. I really want to say, one, that I don't believe in Jesus as the Messiah. I'm sorry I said that name, but I want it to be clear. I don't believe he's the Messiah. I don't believe it was God. I believe he's existed. I know that in the Orthodox Jewish world, there's some people that say that he maybe never existed. I think it's kind of impossible that he didn't exist. The Talmud in 2 different spots has evidence that he would have existed. I believe Josephus's writings has evidence that he existed, and other things, and the fact that a world religion that millions and billions of people follow believe in him, and Islam believes in him as a prophet. So I'm studying. I see these things about his culture, about he living and preaching in the land of Israel, in the northern part of the country that I live in today. The Galilee. I've been to Nazareth, the city where he was supposedly born and raised. Born in Bethlehem, but he was raised in Nazareth, which is mostly an Arab town now. So I'm starting to see that this guy is Jewish, and I'm starting to have questions, and I'm like, if he was Jewish, well, why aren't we Jews? I didn't understand where the split happened. So I started studying more about his culture. I wanted to know more about his culture. In my quest to be more like him, I felt that it was important to study the culture and the context of what all these things happened. It made sense to me that if he was supposed to be the Jewish Messiah, that he would have to fulfill, Judaism. There can't be a split. When God makes a covenant, it's eternal. It can't be broken. It's forever. So why would there all of a sudden be the old covenant, which Christians like to call the Jews' covenant, the law of Moses, the Torah that God gave at Mount Sinai? Why would he all of a sudden say, no more with that, it's too hard for you guys, or you guys, stink at it, so I'm going to save you, and I'm going to come down on earth as a human being, and I'm going to kill myself in order to save you? I mean, why does God need to send himself down on earth in order to kill himself and save mankind? Now, I want to also make sure that everybody knows, and by no means am I bashing Christianity. I'm not trying to prove, I'm not even trying to convert you to anything or convert you to Judaism or take you away from Christian beliefs. I'm just giving you a story of my journey to Orthodox Judaism, a short story of how I came to be where I am. Essentially, so I had these things, I had these questions about Jesus, his culture, and, all these different things. I apologize once again that I'm rambling, because I really should make a habit of writing down what I want to say before I tape it. So I studied these things. Once I studied these questions, and I answered these questions, I had to study where the split happened. And essentially, without going into detail, and I may go into detail later, but there's a different guy on the internet, I think on YouTube and stuff. I think his name is Geo Asher, Geoasher, something like that. And he does a really good job explaining all the differences and the contradictions and the different things that I found for my own before I ever saw his videos. And it made sense. And then I realized the split happened with Paul, and then with the Christianity becoming a religion of the Roman Empire. And then essentially I started going to a Reformed synagogue, started studying Judaism there, started studying Judaism at age 14, taught myself Hebrew, and then I even went to the Reformed conversion classes. By the age of 19 I converted. By the age of 24, I converted to Orthodox Judaism, moved to Israel, and got married. I plan on later making some more in-depth videos, possibly, explaining my stuff. But thought I'd give you guys a little brief explanation of who I am, where I came from, and if you have any questions or want me to answer anything, I would be more than happy.